I'm now an elder statesman. I'm tired. I've been demonstrating since 1978. Just imagine how many years ago. Isn't that 46 years now? So I'm tired. I can't join any. Yeah, I'm too old now to be going on the street. Okay, so please forgive me. 46 years of my life to the struggle. I've slept in detention camp. I've been in exile for 3 years when I couldn't come to my country, Nigeria. I've suffered enough. So I'll be watching and praying for you guys. And if there is publicity, I'll gladly give it. Oh, there's nothing brave about me. There's nothing I'm doing now that Tinubu did not do when he was my age. So he played his part, and so we learned from him. And Professor Olishoyinka, I showed a book this evening during the program. Look at the book. It's titled The Man Died. Even the cover is torn. You know, when I bought it, June 21st, 1978. I'm sure a lot of people here were not born then. I bought this book 1978. Can you believe it ever? And I've kept it ever since. So this book is almost 50 years old. This is one of the books that indoctrinated me about speaking up. You know, it says the man dies in all who keeps silent in the face of tyranny. So, a lot of countries have presidents and prime ministers who don't have private jets. They hire when they need one. Yeah. The private jet of Ghana is extremely old, so they hire when they need one. Especially if they are going on long haul, like America, you know, Dubai, Europe, and all that. And how are you? So many. The Pope, the Vatican is richer than most countries in the world. The Pope uses Alitalia when he's traveling. Alitalia, as you know, is an Italian airline. So that question can easily be answered. Most British prime ministers, they don't have any presidential jet attached to them. They get one when they are traveling, and some of them have even traveled commercial, even to Nigeria, on British Airways. There have been people on British Airways, there have been people of... so, even royalty that you think they will not want to mix with people, they charter, and then they will probably block the first class or the business class, whichever is available. They block it with their team. They are not going to take the entire plane. It's a waste. What are we trying to prove? That we are an American president. You want to be a capitalist without capital. You can't practice capitalism without capital. When the Duke came the other time and Duchess came, they flew commercial to Nigeria. And they came all the way from America. They will just block where they are so that nobody goes there. That's all. To fly an entire presidential jet, you know what that will cost? Then when you go to where you are, when you get to where you are going, you have to get presidential suites or hotels. Do you know how much it costs Nigeria? Abba. People use, no, Bahamas, you can even say it's a small island. I'm talking about big countries. I'm talking about an institution as big as the Vatican. And the Pope uses Alitalia. And it's a good advertisement for the product of Italy. Imagine Tinubu flying Air Peace to wherever he goes. That would be a good advert for Air Peace. And it will generate more income for a local, airline. That's how it should be. But they will say, no, it's not in my own turn, that we won't do it. I think you can go. You should go. You can carry all those ones. Thank you. You can't practice capitalism without capital. If you are broke, you are broke.
I will off the light.
Yeah, everything. AC, everything. I will sort myself out, don't worry. You know? So, but they won't listen. In Nigeria, now, it's customary. It's not even just the president, too. The Senate president has a plane. The speaker will fly a plane. Some ministers in Nigeria don't fly commercial. Ministers. Some governors don't fly commercial. They hire or they buy. As at last year, I'm sure Rivers alone had 2 private jets. And Wiki took one to Abuja. So, I mean, how do you have a country where a minister lives bigger than the presidents of most countries in Africa? So we're not ready. We're not ready. Yeah, I'm tired. Anyway, like I said, I'm tired, and I'm retiring to. I'll retire to my village in Ive in Edo State very soon. So that's it. May God give me money so I can finish my village home. Then I can go there and interact with my people. You know, let them get to know me. My father died 51 years ago. I was a small boy in Ilefe, you know. So I'm really dreaming of interacting with my people. Those who want to die in power and those who want at 80, they are still looking for appointments. I wish them good luck. Yeah, it's the same thing. There is no reason why the legislature should be a full-time job, and if it's a full-time job, you have to pay them what the ordinary citizens cannot earn or what they themselves did not earn in the business or company they came from. Oh yes, I'm Yoruba. I'm proudly Yoruba as well, because my mom was Yoruba. Yes, she's from Bogon, near Ilefe, and I was born in Ilefe. I grew up in Ilefe. I consider myself Yoruba by all means, but I can't forget my roots in Edo State, Owan East local government. So Ive, that's where I dream of going to eat organic food. Oh, I'm tired because I played my part. I'm 64, going on 65. Shouldn't I be tired? I'm tired. Even Aliko Dangote says he's tired. With all his money, he said he's tired. So why won't I be tired? I'm tired. So it's time for me to rest and relax. It doesn't mean 64. I'm 64, not 54. 6'4". So I'm tired, but that's not a problem. God will help me. I have tried my best to. Anybody says I've been in opposition for 42 years. Opposition. I've never been in government. Not made one dime, one kobo from. So I do my work professionally. That's all. The solution to our problems are not even as bad or difficult as many people think. It's just the lack of leaders who are willing to turn things around. And all these things I said just now, why must anybody insist on buying a presidential jet at this time? Is that our priority? But some people will defend it. I say, do you want our president to die? Do you want that? They talk like, Kai, I beg, let's leave it. You eradicate poverty when you redistribute the people's wealth to the people and not just to a few people. That's all. I should help you to lead a peaceful. I did that in the past, not any longer. No, I'm no longer physically able to do that. I'm fit, but I'm not able to lead any protest. Let the new generation also protest on behalf of their own future. I'm old enough, I'm now an elder statesman at 64, going on 65. It's not easy. I told you, we have been in the struggle. See this book? I bought it at the age of 18 in Ilefe, at the bookshop in Ife. The day I got it, they told us that the book was banned. So everybody kept it so jealously so that you will not be arrested with it or it will be confiscated. There was so much myth And I read it like a textbook. Shoyinka wrote, I address this book to the people to whom I belong, not to the new elite, not to that broad stratum of privileged slaves who prop up the marble palaces of today's tyrants. So, it is only the first step in any people that submit willingly to the daily humiliation of fear. The man dies. So you can see where I got my indoctrination from. It's titled A Letter to Compatriots. Some of these books, Shoyinka was in prison when he was writing it, and we read that he wrote them on toilet papers and was hiding them in prison. Can you imagine? So today, no young person should be afraid to play their own part. My arrest and my framing were two entirely different affairs. The one was prompted by the following activities: my denunciation of the war in the Nigerian papers, my visit to the East, my attempt to recruit the country's intellectuals within and outside the country for a pressure group which would work for a total ban on the supply of arms to all the parts of Nigeria, creating a thought force which would, imagine how old Shoyinka was then when he wrote this book. He was a very young man, well, relatively young. It seemed to me that this really is the social condition of tyranny. The man died, a dog died, the matter is dead. The man dies in all who keep silent in the face of tyranny. So you can see why we're speaking, when we're talking. I learned this as far back as 1978. Life was good then. See the way I will read and I will underline. I don't know if you can see it. You can see the way we read in those days. I was only 18 years old though when I was reading this Shoyinka's masterpiece. And the things I read then, I still remember a lot of them today. Shoyinka Sabiku was my favorite poem. I think it's still my favorite poem. In vain your bangles cast, charm circles at my feet. I am an Abiku calling for the first and the repeated times. Must I wait for goats and cowries, for palm oil and the sprinkled ash? Yams do not sprout in amulet to help Abiku's lips. So when the snail is born in the shell, wet the heated fragment, brand me deeply on the breast, you must know him when Abiku calls again. I'm the squirrel thief. I learned that, I think, in Form 2 or Form 3. Yeah, I think our presidential system is too outlandishly expensive for us to manage. It's just too expensive. You have senators, you have House of Reps, and everybody nowadays wants to live big. You will not see any legislator that is ready to live like a pauper or maintain the status that brought him to government. It's like every elected government personality now sees himself as being superior to the people who elected him, whereas he's supposed to be a servant of the people. So that's the thing. Nobody's ready. I come to every level with my people, with my staff. What reason do I have not leading up? I told you, I said I've been in protest since 1978. Is it not time for me to be tired? I'm tired. That's the honest truth. I'm tired. No man can do it alone. No man can do it alone. What I don't pass, Gary, are things. There are issues I don't want to discuss because the issues are not that important. I wrote an article about Tinubu. I wrote an open letter to Tinubu and someone wasn't happy. How does that become a fight? It's not a fight. I didn't write to the person. I wrote the letter to Tinubu. If you don't like it, I said publish your own, and you published your own. I published my own. That's not a fight. It's people who think it's a fight. It's not a fight. I was part of the people that put all of us in these problems. What did I do wrong? I've been a private businessman, nothing more. So that's how you pick on the wrong people. No, you know who your enemies are. You won't face them. You face the people you see and have access to. But it's okay. When would I write a letter to Dele? I don't have to write a letter. I have access to him. We see all the time. We discuss all the time. And I'm very happy he's a good listener and he's an action man. And when he says you will do, once you persuade him about something that this is the way to go, and he's convinced, he will do it. If he's not convinced, he will give you his own superior argument. That's leadership. I don't have such access to other leaders. So that's why I write letters to them. Even if I want to go to Tinubu today, the next thing, when I'm leaving Aso, they will take my picture and say, Dele has come to beg for appointment. That's the end of my career. I won't give anybody such pleasure. That's just it. If I meet Tinubu in a public place elsewhere, of course, I'll walk up to him. We're not enemies. I love him as a person. It's just the politics that I differ, with. So no big deal. But that I will go to Aso Rock today and say, I want to hold a meeting. When you leave there, yeah, we told you he's hungry. Now, finally, he has come to beg us for. It's not the man himself. It's not the president that will say that. It's just some busybodies around him, that will be saying all those things. And I'm not ready for it. It's not. You see, why worry about what you don't need? I'm telling you, all I need in my life is contentment, and I have it plenty. That's my wealth. Whatever little money I'm making, I work very hard, and I'm happy. I'm happy. Will I run for presidency? I've tried twice, I've failed twice. I think that is enough, and I've learned my lesson. And now I know better that it's not wishful thinking. Unless my party, you can see the way the Democratic Party has dashed their ticket to Kamala. Yeah. So if that happens, then it's a different thing. If they think, oh, Dele has a good chance, let's use him. And that's a different thing. But that will spend money to go and be doing party primary, not me. Everyone in government is saying you shouldn't protest. Of course, what do you expect? Because they are the ones in government. But when they were not in government, they encouraged young people to protest. Didn't people protest against Jonathan and all of them? They protested. And nobody complained at the time. That's what I'm saying. I and Wike used to be friends, but I can't be friends with you when you turn into a bully. Anybody who turns into a bully, I can't be friends with you. We're not fighting, we're not quarreling. He's abused me a few times, it's okay. But whenever I speak about him, I speak it's about bad temper. That's not an insult. It's something he needs to work on, but will Atiku run again? He hasn't told me he will run again. PDP will rise again, I believe so, if we work for it. But if we keep quiet, we might sink by the grace of those who want us to sink. What can I say about the oncoming protest? Let it be peaceful. There's nothing wrong in protesting, but let it be peaceful. Nobody should stop anyone from protesting. It's part of our fundamental human rights. Atiku and Obi should work together. I pray so. I hope so. I don't know what their plans are. They haven't discussed with me. But Nigeria needs a good combination. Some people are especially blessed. Look at Baba Basojo. Baba Basojo today, if not that he has done 2 terms already, if the constitution allows him, he can still be a good president of Nigeria, and I think it's about 87, 88. So it's not about age. He's still flying, carrying his own bag, doing everything. So when people talk about Atiku, it's about how lucky you are with your health. I know people much younger than me who cannot do what I'm doing here right now.